go, Chroma. I'm just getting some last minute things. So that way I can get started. What else is there that I need to do? It's got the Edison thumbnail lined up. Do you know that I heckin' love bread? I think bread is the second greatest invention since fire. Bread is very good. It is a very... There's a reason the expression is best thing since sliced bread. Yeah, fire is also pretty good, but bread is delicious. Is there anything else I need? I don't think bread is like the goat. Yep. It certainly is. I could go for grainiest up. They are not giving me any PNGs to find, huh? There's a PNG I can use. Anything else I need? No, okay. I can switch over to here and I can actually go to display capture. There we go. Alright. Bread certainly is the grainiest of all time. I forgot to plug in my drawing tablet. Might not do too much. At least not until later. But I should at least have it. At least you ain't wasting your free time with trying the theorycraft Edison decks. Well, okay, so today I did go through and get your deck copy pasted into Omega, where we typically do Edison stuff with Hero. And I did go into Master Duel and I made, I still haven't crafted everything. All the stuff for that Edison deck event. Whether or not that's wasting my time is another thing entirely. However, probably, who knows? Okay, actually, I need to find. I need to find everything. Okay. I was debating between Mirror Force and Royal Oppression for the background, because I think Royal Oppression is semied, although it is a card that should definitely be banned, and should stay banned. But it was very good in Edison. Hear this, I summon Dark Magician, declare direct attack. Well, is... Soul Servant. No. I forget the continuous trap's name. Holy. A Yu-Gi-Oh! Classic. Eternal Soul, that's it. That's the one I was thinking of. I don't know why I thought of Soul Servant first and foremost, but apparently I did. There is... But who else do I want? I know I want Stardust, because that's one of the best ones. Do I have Red Dragon Archfiend already downloaded? Or is that one I need to? Apparently I don't. Which is sad, because I'm legally not allowed to play my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Archetype in the Edison event. I guess. Well, depending on when that archetype came out, that makes sense. All this general, because last time I did, the server crashed and burned. That's quite an interesting connect. Just archetype, not archetype, just type. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that does depend on what your favorite type is. And allowed to legally play zombies in the Edison event, I assume. Which is definitely unfortunate. Where did I save it? Is it... I think this one actually does work in general. Really? Which is a background. Man, there's a distinct difference in quality between people in the foreground, people in the background. I actually want to make that just a little bit slimmer. Zombies have committed many crimes. Oh, I think you did mention that you got kicked out of a group for playing Zombie Burn. Which, to be fair, I have no idea how good or if that is even good. I just know that apparently it is gonna get you kicked out of a group. From Goblin Zombie Draw Turbo to Bone Tower to Necros of Eldritch. 1 second, I'm getting... Is that a... Oh, that is a storm alert on my phone. Okay. Luckily not a tornado warning, but that... And hopefully that doesn't knock out my power or anything, but that might be cause for concern eventually. Not for now, though. What do I want to title this? Just some question how Necros Eldritch works, and you'll be fine. I mean, chances are, I do know they have, like, a big ritual monster. I don't know if it's level 10 specifically. But, you know, I'm sure it works out fine, somehow. It's actually pretty decent. Maybe 62. Stay 62. There we go. Okay. Which, alright. So then, it works like Valkyrus sending Eldritch to Grave to use effect. Okay. Edson. Oh, I haven't saved it yet. Hold up. What am I doing? Okay. There we go. Now I can export as a JPEG. If you need more help with the deck, just ask me. I definitely will. If I ever get to the point where I'm consistently using it, I definitely will ask for maybe just tech cards and other stuff. I think it's pretty straightforward. I thought so too when I did practice games. Although I did have problems with summoning Christia, because I'd either have too many fairies in grave or not enough. Which is kind of funny, all things considered. Get it? Yeah. It's, which, he can be normal summoned and or set, so it wasn't as big of a problem as it probably could have been. Did I save that to the wrong place? No, I saved it correctly. So where is it? That's where you have Athena as a secondary monster. Yeah, I think Athena, when testing, came up quite a bit more than Christia. Although you only play one of Athena. Which ones are they put for? What did I put for that? There. Athena's surprisingly good, but just like Christia is a little bit bricky, yeah. That is gonna just be the problem with most of those types of formats, where you have like very big boss monsters that are not easily summonable, or like have restrictions. Boss monster is Soul of Purity and Light. That one did come up a little bit. Though to some degree, I'm not sure. No, it definitely did. It helped a lot. Like, just as a big monster that gets rid of excess fairies in the graveyard. After thousands of years, I do want you guys to disturb my slumber. Oh, see. Hey. How you doing, Jen? Welcome in. I'm just doing a little bit of... That's good to hear. You're doing fine. I'm just doing a little bit of art. I can stand to make the Rathian just a little bit taller and a little bit longer. Right now I'm just going through the portion of stream where I make thumbnails for the next couple streams. What do I wanted to say? Since it's easy to summon, also lowering your opponent's monsters by 300 comes up more often than you would think. Getting past Ancient Fairy Dragon. That is a good point. It does overpower Ancient Fairy Dragon. Although, who would put Ancient Fairy Dragon in attack position is beyond me. Like, it does do a lot. I don't know if it's necessarily worth playing two other than just as a generic level 6 extender that you don't need to normal summon, as well as getting stuff out of your graveyard. But it is very good for fairies in that period. What do I want to caption this? I mean, it's also neutral with Braille if you summon it. That is true. It does do a lot. So you could crash, which has some value. Yeah, that's just outing the Brio is really good. Never before has cooking gone so well. Yeah. You definitely cooked very hard and got rewarded with a very, very good deck, I will say. Need to duplicate. I don't even know how well it's been doing. I mean, from what I've been testing, the only thing it really seems to have a problem with is non-monster negates. Like, if your opponent happens to have Deep Prison or Dark Hole or like Torrential, kind of, or something, then you're kind of in a bad position. Less so with the traps, because you did add the purple light, which I believe is the one that negates traps. Okay. Let's move that up just a little bit. And move you up just a little bit. Although you did only put one of the purple light in there, which is made it a bit inconsistent when it comes to negating traps. But also, it can be hard to play around, just traps in general, without, having multiple purple lights. The deck was just based on Jaina Ego's fairies and Athena's fairies. I'm assuming two existing decks that were popular for Edison events. mean, you can shuffle ratios, so that's your call, which is fair. I guess it is more or less dependent on what I think will come up more often, traps or monster effects, and which will be, the decks were made for like 2021, 2022 Edison events, yeah, I thought so. It's all of it is basically just dependent on what I think will be better or will come up more. Like maybe maybe I can trade like a orange light for an extra purple, or even a green light. Just as long as... Oh wait, hold up. Go there. Orange light in Gores is really funny. Oh, yeah. I definitely see that. You can't Gores me. Ha! Yep, get the dunk the on the idiot. Your Gores means nothing. It wouldn't be a shame if I used my anti-Gores. Wouldn't it be a shame if I used my anti-Gores bug spray? Very true. I think we can go for... Well, obviously I can go for Catastor. That's one I don't think I've used yet. Think about making a zombie Edison deck. So funny enough, I think I've tried to make one the last time I dueled with Hero and did the Edison event, or like his Edison stuff. But I don't think it did very well. What? But I tried to make one. A lot of it revolved around like Vampire Lord and Pyramid Turtle and Zombie Goblin, as well as like Plague Spreader Zombie to get extra like synchro plays going and stuff like that. What if I do this? Which one would it be? Would it be 20? This one would be 22, I believe. Okay. And I can just exit out of this. And okay. Strangely enough, for the most part, that is done. Now, it's time to look at Vanadium Mach 2. But I've started out at least. Probably do it like this actually. Then I think other than that, it did fairly. I mean, I don't know exactly how well it did, but I'd say it did decent. Okay. So far so good. Now, did you consider like Lone Fire Dad for the zombie deck? Kinda. I consider Dad definitely. I didn't really consider Lone Fire for the zombie deck, which I don't really know how good that is in a zombie deck. I imagine pretty decent, just because Lone Fire is, I believe, semi-limited, just generally pretty good. But Lone Fire to get Tomato, that's fair, actually. Or I've seen people like Lone Fire for Spore, funnily enough, like double Lone Fire into Spore to get some extra synchro plays going. hold up. Slant up just a little bit, slant down just a little bit. And then curve it down to there. Okay. I guess if that's a decent recommended, I should probably try it at least in, maybe in, honestly, just any synchro deck. Also found out a glow-up bulb is legal in Edison, which I didn't realize. I guess it makes sense, but given that was one of the first, like, it's like the big tuner. Don't think it is. It might not be, but I'm not sure. Wait, hold on. I saw it was legal for the event, if I remember. Glow up bulb release date. That was back in July 17th of 2010. Or technically November 6th of 2010. When it released into the CCG, but in OCG it was July. So I don't think that was technically Edison, which apparently this technically isn't Edison, or an Edison event. It's like a just after Edison event, which I guess they need to make the distinction fair enough. To make it just, I'm cooking zombies, oh boy. Alright then. I guess, because I believe you can. I do have the most Edison zombies can be. I do have the list of commands in the description. It does not work for YouTube, I'm realizing. At least not properly. Yeah, I imagine you're gonna dip for a bit to continue cooking, which is fair and fine. Actually, that might even be a bit too big of a jump down. talk and cook. I'm quite the multitasker. Alright. Fair enough then. I'm not really the best multitasker, as you can probably tell by times where I get panicked, but I'm always gonna try and be polite. Okay. And that goes in there. I actually think this would be like right here. That might even be a bit too far. But yeah, I can clean it up. Looks at spined Gilman. That is I believe, a level 3 sea serpent, if I remember correctly. I think that's the one that even like increases sea serpent's attack by like 200 or something. Yep. I think it's that one and like one other one that is played in a lot of Edison decks just because they don't have a lot of sea serpent monsters. Deep Sea Diva, yep. Okay, hold up. Since it makes like Gishnilodon, which is like hard to out, yeah. Wait, was it Nodon or Godon? Gish. It was Gishnilodon. Okay. I thought so. I couldn't remember if it was Godon or Nodon. Which, apparently, that's a rare in Master Duel. Which, I guess it hasn't been as good since, like, Edison. That seems very strange that even, like, a decent legacy card, a fairly decent legacy card, is, like, a rare. Also, it can be paired pretty well with Plague Spreader, yet. And to make, I guess, literally any, goes very far down. And E7 goes brrr. Yep. I think that's a bit more midway. I might actually want to go a little bit steeper of an incline. Look at Mark S. and Soul's Zombie decks for inspiration. I imagine those are also from more recent Edison events. Go down. Then you curve down to a point. About right there. Carlos 2023 Edison. That does. That sounds. That does sound pretty recent. That is not quite right. Which Joshua Schmidt won, I think, playing, quick draw. Like, Okay. I have mucha knowledge. You do. Which, as you kind of mentioned, is why chances are I'll probably never, like, if I ever for some reason decide to play like a progression series knockoff, I'll probably like there was a thought in my head that like maybe like a like pro versus noob progression series would be pretty entertaining. How that goes up to there, that's unlucky. Okay. I wouldn't say you're not allowed. I just say it'd be a bit more unfair for, like, me. Than it would be for you. I think you also kind of understand why that is. You just have way more experience than me in legacy formats. Like, funnily enough, my experience with old formats versus your experience post 2014. Kinda, yeah. And the thing is, I'm not even, like, to that, yeah. Okay. Oh, there's there. 2014 is my year, okay? I mean, that is, like, around hat format, so I do believe you. Do need to clean this up a lot. I mean, the one thing I will say, like, the nuances of, like, Edison and other formats, I think, can be very complicated, but a lot of older formats like Edison and Goat, I think, can be grasped fairly easily. They're not easy formats, but they, like, if you put a new person into Edison, they'll probably get it a bit more than they would if you put them into modern. Okay, this part might be just a little bit harder. Yeah, I knew it. Okay. Goes down like that. It curves down just slightly. Parallel over for a little bit. Bit too much of a bump there. That's actually pretty decent. Actually, I think it's a bit more natural of a bump than I probably think it is. Mentioning prog also reminds me of something I once did. Let's just go. This goes like this. But might I ask what that was? I actually think this goes like straight and then it curves. Also, did I put this on a loop? I did not. What else do I have? I do have you. You're also a decent 2. We did Christian playoffs, and me and some friends stole that exact thing, but instead of resetting at every new summoning mechanic, we just kept going. That sounds interesting. It's really weird. I mean, I can imagine. I think that's a bit more pointed than I'm thinking it is. Some old cards came to bite us like years later, set-wise. Well, I can imagine. Some cards are widespread dud for me. I want to look that up. Widespread dud. Let's see. That is the one that, if I remember correctly, it's like 2 attack monsters in the field. When any of the second monsters from the field, destroy this card. Oh. That card is like really good in a sealed format. Strangely enough, yes. Like, okay, like, obviously if you chain it to like something that removes spell and, like, if you chain it to a spell and trap removal, then you just kind of get rid of at least 2 of your opponent's monsters. You can tribute it for True Draco and stuff, so that was probably pretty broken. But when did it release? I should not have closed that. 2010. Yeah, Absolute Power Force 2010. It has not seen a reprint since, apparently. Which is interesting. So it was legal for True Draco, which I imagine it's in Edison. That it is. And I consider it every time I want to build a deck. Thing is, it doesn't. I need to stop closing tabs. Destroy the selected monsters. Okay. So it doesn't bypass like Stardust, but it does like get rid of some monsters. If you're like really desperate for spell or big monster removal. Just stop there. Consider it a B+ tier card. That sounds about correct. For like a sealed environment specifically, not really great in like like advanced constructed and stuff. That is not as down as I'm thinking it is. It's more to the slanted. I mean, Pop Mizuki. Get value. I guess that's true, yeah. It can do, like, a lot of stuff. But I'm saying, like, in a more modern format, like, right now it's probably just a card that would collect dust. But in a sealed environment, it is, like, a good value card. Also, there are many more of those cards. I'm realizing hold on, how do I want to do this? Because I think I messed up with how I go about. For one, I think I need to redraw this line. I think it's both bigger and smaller than I think it realistically is. Okay. Because yeah, it goes up to like midway point of this. That's just slightly bigger than I think it is. I guess Knight and Sorcerer is also pretty cool. Knight and Sorcerer, that is, I think, one of those spellcasters that, or like tuners that just hasn't really seen that much support. I think it is. Hold on, I need to confirm what Knight. Oh. Sorcerer. Playable with like Zombie Master. Special summon, target 2 cards in the opponent's graveyard, banish them. That is not. That is actually pretty decent. It's not once per turn. It's only on special summon. So it has to be the last thing, and it's a when effect, so it has to be the last chain in effect in the chain. But it does banish 2 cards, which is always going to be nice. That's why it says Zombie Master, which, if I remember correctly, I believe that also banishes. Does Zombie Master banish a card? Oh, no, it revives a monster from the graveyard. That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, it does. I think it does need it to. Like, Zombie World, I think, does need to be face up on the field to activate that effect. Because Knight and Sorcerer is a sorcerer, or a spellcaster. But yeah, that is still pretty decent. think it is. Okay, there we go. Now I loop back down. Okay. Now, for this, not to there. That go. There we go. That's something. I need that to slant a lot more. Actually, I need this to go out just a little bit more. I mean, maybe I should just take, yeah, I'm just gonna take some artistic liberties with how for the most part, with how I make this. Because I don't think there is an easy way. Okay, no, that lines up with that. Okay, that loops it down there. And then it's time for you. That runs pretty much. Okay. Now for this, which that is a lot thinner than I think it is. Do commenters know Edison zombies? Probably not. I mean, no offense intended to YouTube comment specifically, especially since I am streaming from them. But I think there is a case to be made that they don't really know all that they're talking about. I do need to actually, yeah, I need to turn that back on so that way I can do. There we go. That way I know what is being blocked. Okay, that. Time to play Mark of the Roses. I think I need to make this a bit more angular. Just slightly. That way I can make this a lot more. And you know, maybe I should actually just redo this entire line because it's not looking great. So where does that go? Okay, there is that. Now it does go. I actually think it would go a bit more up than I think it is. Okay. That seems just slightly more accurate to what I want it to be. Then, okay. Actually, I should make this first. Kinda. Let's do it like this, actually. So that way I kinda know the boundaries. Frigate Spore. You're playing zombie featuring plants. For an, like, I guess for hero. Or for, like, the event. Because theoretically I could actually play that. That's, I think, a lot wider than I'm thinking it is. A lot taller than I'm thinking it is. You can choose, I'm like half finished. Alright. I am in my own stream, so you can, like, pretty much immediately show me. Which, I guess I should probably clarify this a little bit. Because, like, I think I was a little bit, maybe not harsh per se, with you when it came to Monday. When I was like, you can show me the list tomorrow. I more or less just, like, didn't want to be a bother. Which Kara seemed mostly cool with it. But one, I didn't really want to get you in trouble with the auto mod. In case she did, like, not want links in her chat. But also, I just thought it might be a little bit rude to not be at least somewhat adjacent to the topic of the streamer. Which she did seem mostly cool with it, which was nice. I just didn't want to, like, I just didn't want to be rude, basically. Okay. That is coming together surprisingly nicely. Just needs a little bit of fine-tuning, which I can probably just make work. Specifically in regards to, like, the arms and legs and stuff, but or specifically in regards to the arms. However, now it's time for what will probably be very hard. I just want to get started on the legs. Okay. I can move stuff around as needed. Just need to make these separations. Actually, about there is probably right. Get that. I summoned a special summon knight and sorcerer through Mystic Tomato. Would that work? I mean, dependent on what's Chain Link 1 and Chain Link 2, that's would be surprising. That would be pretty funny. I mean, I guess, like, the actual special summon is not really a thing that, like, that obviously works because Knight and Sorcerer is a dark with, I think, 1200 attack, and Mystic Tomato needs 1500. But the effect, I think, also technically works because it's a when effect. As long as Mystic Tomato is, like, the last thing to resolve, it should still proc Knight and Sorcerer, which is funny. That. Kinda. See, I can play good cards. I never said that you couldn't. It's just that you typically choose not to. Which is a fine choice. Just not always one that yields the best results. That's too big. That is much too big. Raised a bit too much there, but I can clean that up. Okay. That might actually be a bit too small. Because, yeah, I think this is the ridge where this is. That's unlucky. Okay. I can go... Yeah, because... maybe I should stop trying to make it perfect and more or less focus on... That's fine. Actually, that's mostly perfect, considering what I want it to be. I can trail that down. Guess maybe I should actually start with the boots. That would be a smart idea, wouldn't it? These slightly up. Even if I need to move them back down, I know basically where they need to go. guess that's decent for an outline, but it's not great, is the thing. one. Yeah, these are pretty much parallel to make this steeper up here and then round off. Maybe I should just start over this line actually. Steeps up. Okay. That should mostly be fine. But then at the top, think about right here. Break there. There we go. That's definitely not correct. Finished? Oh, alright. Just need to, I'm gonna try to finish this line. Okay. And I do need to, and I'm gonna save this, actually a cracked list. Okay. So, oh. There we go. Edison. I'm assuming Edison zombie. No. Zombie plant. No. Zombie plants? Okay. There we go. And I see, yep, there's Mystic Tomato, Mizuki, Zombie Master, Ill Blood, which I haven't seen in a while. Then there is, okay, Regidia, Dad, Gores, Double Caius, Double Goblin, Double Pyramid. There's Gale the Whirlwind, which is interesting because I don't really see too many black wings, but you know, it is a tuner. Then Lone Fire, Spirit Reaper, Night End, Plague Spreader, DD Crow, Mark of the Mark of the Roze is interesting. It's like a very conditional snatch steal. Gale gets over specifically Stardust with low investment. Okay, yeah, I see it. Then Allure, Double Book of Life, Brain Control, Foolish Burial, Book of Moon, Space Typhoon, Judgment, Bottomless, Prison, Double Tornado, Mirror Force, Stardust Road, and Trap Dust Shoot. Then, of course, the extra deck is Lecture Deck and Double RTA, Colossal, Thought Ruler, Dark End, Stardust, Armor Master for the Gale, Black Rose, Gaia, Revived King, Doom Kaiser. I don't know why I put into RDA. Briannac, Queen of Thorns, Flam Requisas, and Ally of Justice Catastrophe. Now, I mean, to be fair, there are not that many high-level synchros. I mean, the obvious other one is, like, I think the one that's in everyone else's side deck is, I think, Cyber Dragon and Chimera Tech, which, you know, is not always great, especially in something like zombies, but it can work. Of course, side deck is Mystic Tomato, Last Copy, Lightning Vortex, Mind Control. Change one RDA for Android. Okay, that's fair. Control, cross out, System Down. In case of, like, Cyber Dragon. Okay, and of course, like, Ally of Justice, Catastrophe, and stuff like that. Double Light Imprisoning to stop, like, fairies and stuff. Pulling the Rug. When a monster was normal summoned, you destroy that effect monster. That is, like, almost specifically Light Sworn and Fairies, yeah. That is a weirdly decent, like, normal Solemn Judgment. Last Dust Tornado, Karma Cut. Target face monster target. Okay. Then Return and Starlight. Okay. That is a pretty funky list. Thank you again for cooking. Ascending Plague for Karma Cut is fine. Yeah, that's probably fair. The only problem might be that I don't know if I have all those cards in Master Duel, so I'd have to look. Like, most of them are probably like an R rarity anyway. But aside from the synchro monsters, those might be higher rarity, and Stardust Road might be an SR. I think Stardust Road is an SR in Master Duel. We're sending a tomato for Lone Fire for Mark the Rose. Yeah, I do see that, yeah. It's also pretty nifty, yep. It certainly is now. The other tomato is in the extra for like if you really need it, but it's not mandatory. Yeah, I figured something like that. Because there will be times where you don't really need the third tomato, but it might help. Also, these must be much bigger than I think they are. Their tomato is... Did that not load? Pulling the rug is so base. That's showing up on there, but not for me. Gets around like Brio as well. Pulling the rug does, or which one? So no, Brianek is original description. Black Rose, okay. I was kind of confused because, like, I don't think, which is like just funky. It does seem pretty strange that it would work like that. At least I wouldn't think it would, based on what I can tell the card does. But, who knows, maybe it doesn't. Man, this is... It was worded in a bad way. can be activated when any trigger effect is activated due to a normal summon, even if the trigger effect came from a different monster than the one that was normal summoned. In case the monster that produced the trigger effect is destroyed, not the monster that was normal summoned. I see. Kinda. That's very funky how that works. Chain pulling the rug to a monarch's trigger effect. If the monarch's effect is optional and its controller chooses not to activate, then you can't chain pulling the rug. Oh, okay. Okay. Like, it only works on mandatory effects. Gotcha. Which is just gets around like Caius. I see. Like Caius and I think Zaborg also falls into that category. That's pretty interesting. This is pretty annoying, so you see, this is an absolute win. Which is fair, yeah. Okay, I just need to get... even just somewhat done. So Queen of the Thorn is a massive a-hole to deal with. Maybe we should just close that. Thorns. Pay 1,000 life size for each monster they normal special summon from the hand except plant type monsters. Yep. Doesn't count for graveyard, but yeah, that does sound like it would be difficult to deal with. Grave wasn't prevalent during Edison, yeah, which is fair, aside from, I think, specifically zombies. I mean, like, we had, like, Wolf, I guess. just need to get this. Must now lose 1,000 life for Battle Fader, Gores, BLS, Sork, any Blackwing, you know, much awesome. Also, that does remind me, like, Alex, or Sima might be in shambles, because I think Blackwing was banned for that not Edison event. Not Blackwing. Well, like most of the good Blackwing cards, but like BLS was banned. I worked hard on it way hard. Yeah, clearly you did, which is very nice. Thank you. So I just need to straight. I think the more I think about a deck, the more I overcomplicate it. I tried Zangan, Spirit River, but decided against it. Which I guess is somewhat, I guess is fair. Because there are I definitely messed that up. One modern in Virtual World, 2 Edison, Fairies, and Zombies, and 1 Hat deck in Fire Tricks. The thing is, for what those decks are, you do very well, like relatively well with them. So I'm becoming an Edison person. I guess we can like more than one format, I would say. I don't even play Edison, which is the funny thing. I mean, I guess the thing is, you can, though. Like, you can honestly play, like, a lot of legacy formats. Clearly you are very knowledgeable in them. I guess part of it is just wanting to, and the other part of it is just sometimes dabbling the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Edison, is it for me? I guess fair. Give me like Hat or Cosmo and I'm happy. That's fair. Yes. Yeah, I should probably. The Cosmo is a miserable. I don't know what just touched my leg, but or my foot, but something touched my foot, which kind of scared me. Sorry. Cosmo mirror match is horrible. Apparently it is, which. I can't really verify that outside of the little bit I've watched of progression when it comes to Cosmo and its mirror match. But apparently, yeah, it's pretty bad. Rather play the BA mirror. Which, again, I don't have too much context. I imagine that means the BA mirror is at least better than Cosmo or decent. Even if it's not great either. That goes up to there, yeah. Is at least fun, except for Barbar. Barbar is, I think, Barbar is the one, not the one that banishes, does it? What is it? Mala Branch of the Burning Abyss. Graveyard, 3 burning, which goes to graveyard. Banish damage, inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each. Okay. Yeah, I see how that makes things not as fun. Kinda. Just burn effects in general will take the fun out of a lot of stuff. Especially in time. Just 90% of BA mirrors, and with who resolves Barbar first. Yeah, because they immediately get, like, a head start in life points. Actually, this should be... This actually curves. I see. Okay. I actually think I should make this just slightly bigger than actually, I should apologize. For what? Wait, this actually... Yeah, it goes... I'm gonna force myself onto you with the stacks. Oh, no, don't worry about it. Like, I definitely wouldn't go to every streamer and do something like that, but I'm relatively cool with it, for the most part. That's my bad. Like I said, don't worry. Don't worry too much about it, at least in regards to me. I think, like I said, the only thing might be that I think would ever really cause a problem is, like, with Kara, if there was another streamer involved. But there wasn't, so no harm, no foul. Tone it down. Okay. I guess I should actually make this clear. Thank you for, like, being, like, understanding. Even if I don't necessarily have that much of a problem with it. That goes... I definitely need to correct this a lot. Life is all about growth and realizations. That is very true. I think it goes like that. Okay. Need to make this significantly smaller. There we go. Don't believe. Don't better others' behavior. Better yourself. No, not necessarily. Like, I guess more or less the point is understand that, like, I don't really know what the point is other than try your best not to needlessly inconvenience other people. And if you do, just work hard to, like, correct your behavior. Okay, what time is it? I've been going for about 2 hours. I'm not quite tired enough to end stream yet. I was getting close. I was Also, this week's memes were real. What's here? I think I did see some of them. They were not great. Like, there were some that I think weren't necessarily like funny, but were still like entertaining or good because our Lord and Savior wasn't there. Sam Uolo. And the thing is, yeah, unfortunately, he did not make it to meme review. Every now and then I feel like making a deck for like masteral events hosted by other people, but every time I think about it, I feel like it isn't worth it. Obviously, to some degree, it does depend on how many gems you got and what the event is. Like, okay, so Alyssa Silver, another person who does masteral streams, recently did a rock-only monster event. Like, all monsters had to be rocks. Could have any other, like, generic spell trap card, but every monster had to be a rock. Like, I've had a pre-built deck for that in, like, Adamantipator Magnet Warrior. But if I didn't, I probably wouldn't, especially right now, just because of how tight gems are. Like, I think I can make cool competitive decks for those events, but I also just don't feel like it, right? Yeah. I guess it also does depend on whether or not you want to compete in those events. Which, like I said, I didn't really want to compete in the rock event. Maybe it's the defeatist in me knowing I'll never win. I wouldn't say never win. Or at least, it depends on how big the event is. Like the Alyssa Silver event I mentioned had like a dozen people in it. And some of them were pretty experienced, others not so much. And we're like, I have no idea if I decided to participate if I would have won. But I definitely would have still given it my all. Got ranks card into every event, lol. Honestly, if you do that and get very lucky, there is a chance that you might be able to win, just because no one really knows how to stop the Guardian deck. You would have to get very lucky, but it is theoretically possible. Okay. This summer I might actually want to gotta join the Decades Meta Weekly. I need to move you. I'm just gonna make these lines a lot more solid. And yeah, who knows? That goes up. Okay. Let's back up. No, but it would be funny if I made somebody else's winning deck. I mean, I think you could do it. Like, okay. I don't... Is that allowed? Like, can you make... I mean, I don't see why you couldn't make someone else's deck and have them enter the tournament with that deck. Like, it would have to be someone you know, but... That's... If I ever were to play in those events, I don't think I would get far due to how conventional like chartreuse are a lot of the time. That is unfortunately fair, because like you would be going up against people who are just full in on optimization. And even if it's like split mirror comes up, it might not even like resolve correctly. Like, it's not impossible to beat someone's fully optimized like meta deck, but it is really, really, really hard if you are not playing like in a similar fashion. Unfortunately. Now I think about it, I mostly play rogue options, which, all things considered, is fair. There we go. I think that is looked I think that's actually about right. Kinda. Okay. I think the other thing I need to clean up is, I think, just you. Because you're just really messy. I would say Rogue has been like far more fun for me to play, even if it does lose a lot more than like a proper tier strategy. The least rogue option is like Memento. In which direction? Because chances are I wouldn't really call Memento like a meta deck. Like, honestly, it might be more of a rogue strategy just because, you know, some people don't always know how to play against it. Like, it does have some very big flaws that can be exploited, but it was also surprisingly powerful as like a going second strategy, from what you told me. What do I play at the moment? Guardian, Snap This, Memento, Sprite Twin, Virtual World. Okay. In terms of like, if we count previous metas, Virtual World would be like, I guess it's more rogue now. Which is kind of the point. However, yeah, I guess that is, Virtual World would be rogue. Sprite Twin is powerful, but does have certain flaws, which does make it more rogue than anything. Guardians, I probably wouldn't call rogue, but, you know, people just don't understand them, so I can get that. Well, okay, what classifies rogue in your mind? Because I'm wondering, like, if I understand it correctly, the definition of rogue is like something that can challenge the meta, but has like certain like consistency issues or flaws that keep it from like constantly being part of the meta. Guardian's flaws, how luck-based it is. That is very true, actually. Based on what I know about Guardians, a lot of it is just about what you can top deck. Also can challenge certain decks. I'm a big proponent of, if Guardians had any more consistency, more people would play it. To some degree, I think you're right, but I also know that, like, that also depends on if that extra consistency made it more or less complicated. Because I know some people don't play Guardians just because it's a very complicated deck. And from what you said from the replays, it can take a while for a single turn with Guardian. So, like, if it if Guardians was just a better deck, I think people would, like, some more people would play it, but not a lot. Which may or may not, like, your point might not be how many people, it's more just the fact that more people would play it isn't of itself your point. Okay. I am making decent headway. I've cleaned up a bunch of the lines. Like, I pretty much just need, I'll say this, I pretty much just need to finalize everything. As a second ambassador of the Guardian community, I think Guardian is a C tier deck. I can kind of see that, yeah. Well, that does depend on how you classify. How would you classify other decks into B and A? And the C. Never mind, then you're just making a joke. You're just making a joke, okay. That being said, who is live right now? Because I do. No, okay. I actually want to turn display capture off because I am getting a little bit tired. And I'll move over to the screen and legitimately, I do wonder where, like, Guardians would fall in terms of how they work and what they can do in comparison to, like, the tier list standards. Ooh, that's super pretty. I would put it in tier 3 or 4. I guess I can see that, yeah. Look at that, a lot of it depends on how you stack up the rest of the decks. As much as it pains me, I don't think it could go any higher. Unless it gets legacy support, then who knows? It's made a Guardian Link monster exactly. Mills potato noodle soup. You are new to Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's see what we can do. I'm just gonna get this ready and talk for a little bit more. As you can kind of tell, my voice is kind of giving out, and I'm a little bit eepy. I think about it, I'm technically still really new to Yu-Gi-Oh! Kinda. If I remember, you said that you had an interest in a lot of the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! How long have you been going through the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff like that? I mean, you're probably you just started when you first came to my stream with Master Duel, but Advanced Constructed is different than legacy formats. Only been looking into this street for 3 or almost 4 years. I wouldn't technically, I wouldn't say that's new, but also as you said, you probably have not been you haven't been playing modern or constructed advanced format for a long time. Playing wise, maybe a year at most. Okay. I wouldn't say really new, but I guess yeah, you are a newer player. Okay. I'll just go ahead and copy that. And like I said, I do just kind of I do need to rest my voice. So I will be going on a raid. I'm a learning player. I'll go ahead and get it started. Never mind. I don't think I can raid them. Maybe. I could also do it in our stream. Like a very small art streamer. Is there anyone really small? Who is? What's going on for Monster Hunter? Legend of Lily are alive, although they're way too big. I wouldn't want to be rude. imagine you're, from the looks of it, you're just ending. Man, there are not a lot of people on right now. Chaos Love is always an option. There's also playing stories. Okay, check in just a second. My only direction of you before me setting this history is like playing the PSP game. That's interesting. I mean, I don't. What are you doing? Oh no, you just ended. Okay. That's why. Let's check stories. Stories too, even. I don't really see. I mean, I think you do see some people who come from maybe not the PSP game, but some of the video games. You mostly see people come from the anime, which is interesting. You know what, Chaos Love seems pretty nice right now. Let's just get me some rest. Can actually go for Villacrest. That seems pretty. Yeah, let's go Villacrest. I haven't done too much in a while. Playing the Elden Ring DLC. Oh, Chroma is. I'm realizing that might not be a great idea if you don't want to get spoiled for like the Elden Ring DLC. just go ahead and revolve your piece. Okay. Okay. As always, I want to play it, sure, but I'm not interested in buying it. Well, fair, I guess. Yeah. Actually, hold up. Just started. She's playing for yeah, Baylor Crest sounds fine. Okay. Okay. As always, thank you for dropping by, Chroma. Sorry if this is a very sudden end, but I just need to rest my voice. Have a wonderful rest of your night, and take care.